Check 1, 2, check, check. It's January. M3GAN stars Allison Williams, Violet McGraw, and is directed by Gerald Johnston. What's up, guys? Exciting day, the very first review of 2023, and it is M3GAN, another killer doll movie. No spoilers. Cards on the table. I thought for some reason that James Wan was directing this. He did not direct this. He wrote it along with another party, but he did not direct it. And there's a reason I say that. Now, don't worry too much, all right? It's not all bad, but like I said, it is January. But first off, let's give you a quick plot synopsis. Our main character is a young child, Katie, played by Violet McGraw, and her parents are killed in this tragic accident at the beginning of the movie. And so her caretaker would be her aunt, played by Allison Williams, who works for this company. She is a tech creator, and she created this new doll called M3GAN. And you know, it takes a while for M3GAN to finally come to fruition because they're working on this other, they look kind of like Furbies, you know, I guess like mechanical Furbies. That's what they're weird looking. That's what the beginning of the movie. And eventually she kind of goes behind corporate's back and makes M3GAN. And you know, like any beta, you're gonna have some kinks to work out, and eventually she finds that out throughout this movie. How does M3GAN work? M3GAN has learning capabilities, and she obeys her host or her owner. In this case, it would be Katie, and she'll go out of her way to protect her. But because she isn't finalized, she does have these bugs that need to be worked out. And she becomes extremely protective. And also, she just absorbs so much information and learns, you know, about the good part of life and also the bad part of life, including death. And so that plays a factor in here. Really, a lot of this movie too is not just, you know, the fun of having a killer doll. You know, we love Chucky, right? Killer doll movies. There's a few other movies besides Chucky, but Chucky's, of course, the big kahuna. But also, it spends a good portion of the movie as a cautionary tale, you know, from a psychological standpoint with a child, and when their whole life is consumed by their toys or this doll, this AI doll that just constantly learns and controls them. This goes all the way back to like the 80s, you know, and before, when you use the television, which is a piece of technology, as the babysitter. Well, in this case, with the 21st century, you have M3GAN as the babysitter. No difference, really, although it gets a little bit more dangerous. But this is a child that has had a recent trauma, and so those first interactions with the new parent are going to be extremely important. Now, start out with the good. M3GAN is a creepy doll, okay? And I love the look of this doll. And I think all the potential lies on that character. You know, I think she looks just as interesting as Chucky does, even though it's two completely different animals here. You know, even her characteristics are a little bit more stylistic, more cunning than, say, the more direct Chucky. And, you know, I knew that I was going to be comparing her to Chucky because it's a very similar plot, if I'm being honest. Hell, the Chucky remake is even more close to M3GAN. It's kind of like a cross between Chucky and, like, say, iRobot, you know? When the technology goes awry. Hell, you could trace this all the way back to, like, Terminator. Now, one of my biggest concerns about this movie was the PG-13 rating. Does it hurt the movie? Maybe, maybe not. It's hard for me to tell because there are some violent scenes in this movie. There's just not that many of them. This is more of a slow burn and kind of a build along the way. So if you're looking for just a lot of blood and a lot of killing and stuff like that, you're not going to get that much of it in this. And it does feel kind of watered down. So I guess in that sense, the PG-13 rating does kind of hurt it. But like I said, there are some bloody scenes in here. If they ratcheted up the violence, would it really make that much of a difference if you gave it an R rating as far as the quality of the movie goes? Probably not. Now, I think that's about all I got as far as the pros. You know, there are a couple funny moments throughout the movie, but this isn't like a full-fledged comedy at all. But as far as the cons for this movie, setting aside M3GAN for a second here, this movie just doesn't have that emotional anchor that would have been great for this, you know. I think the character of Gemma is very cold, and she's supposed to be that. So I can't take that away from it, but I think there could have been more of an arc by the end of the movie, and it just didn't really have that really nice emotional moment to make you really care. Kind of comparing it to Terminator 2 again with the end with John Connor. That's a beautiful moment. This doesn't really have that between Katie and Gemma. Also, if you want to compare this to, like, say, the first Child's Play or even a few of the other sequels in that franchise, I think they are much more entertaining. Chucky, you can just have a freaking ball watching those really good Child's Play movies. And if this were a Chucky movie, same exact plot, same exact scenario, I would probably rank this down in like the lower movies. It's just kind of there. It's just kind of bland. And I thought this movie would have a lot more charisma to it based on the title character, M3GAN. Don't get me wrong, she has a few fun moments throughout, but there was times where I was just like, I wish they would have went farther with her. Too often I feel like they depended on the eyes and intimidation, and that'll only get you so far. And like I said, there are scenes of violence in this, but I just didn't think it really sent it over the edge like I wanted it to, if I'm comparing it to other movies of this kind. So for that, I'm gonna give M3GAN just a straight up humdrum. I don't think it's a movie that I'll ever need to watch again. It's nice for January, and you could do a lot worse on a Saturday afternoon, you know? You could probably have some fun with it. But this movie actually made me want to throw in one of my Chucky movies, because I think Chucky just has a lot more charisma, if I'm being honest. So anyway, guys, let me know what you guys think of M3GAN when you see it. Looking forward to hearing your thoughts in the comments, or seeing your thoughts. Also, be sure to come over to Killer Flicks, where we talk horror all day and every day. On Fridays, we do Free for Fridays. Follow me at Drumdums on all my socials. Support me on Patreon. Buy me a coffee. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Drumdum out.